Okay, we're doing chapter 6, and this is the setup. I'm going to mute the sound and just watch and see how it goes. We're doing both service and products. If you scroll down in your page, you'll see that they have both. We do not have sales tax. We do want estimates. As far as customer orders, it looks like no. And we do use statements. We are not using progress invoicing. We are keeping track of bills that we owe or managing them, whatever you want to call it. I don't think we're tracking inventory. We are tracking time. And we have W-2 employees. We are using December 31st, 2021. Now, as far as all of this is concerned, I think we're just going to use the ones that it has. And we are using a cash basis. We are going to add our bank accounts. So the products and services and people, it's easier in my mind to set them up in the latter part. So we're going to go ahead and add the bank accounts. Just preemptively doing this for the next ones. Okay, we're going to say no thanks on this. Actually, we don't want to order Intuit checks. Not in this instance. You might for your business at some other time. We're going to continue and we're going to say start working, and we will add products and services and people in the next part. I'm going to get rid of this new feature tour. Okay, so the ones that we just put in there, let's go in there and double check the different types. We're going to go into our chart of accounts real quick. Here's the ones that we just put in. Yeah, those are all bank. Make this bigger. Bank, bank, bank. And where's the other one? Visa. Whoops, I didn't want to do it that way. Let me go back in there. Let's edit that account. Now, Visa is actually a credit card, so we should probably go ahead and make sure that lands where it should be under credit card. The other ones, I believe, are all going to be bank type deals. So, at any rate, we're going to go in and we're going to make sure on our chart of accounts that we have design services. We're going to kind of go through and make sure all of these are in here. And I'm not seeing it. So we're going to create a new account. Okay, so we're going to say account new. These are income accounts. Design services. We're saving, and here it is. That's an income account. Let's look and see if we have installation under. So we do have that. Okay. Maintenance services we do have, so we're okay on that. Cost of goods sold, we only have two of them. So we have materials and workers' comp, but we need a few more. So let's look. Equipment rental for jobs. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Okay, so for that one, we're going to say new. This should go under cost of goods sold. There we go. Saving it. Okay, so there's equipment rental for jobs. Next one is materials costs. We already have that. Merchant account fees. I do not see that as a cost of goods sold. I'm going to copy the name of it, and we're going to say we need a new one. Okay, now we've got merchant account fees. We also have tools and small equipment under cost of goods sold. That is not in there yet, so let's add it. Okay, now we've got that. Next one after that is workers' compensation insurance. That is already in there, so we're good. Okay, now we're going to go look at expenses. So all of these expenses, starting with advertising and promotion, is already in there. Auto and truck expenses is already in there. Bank service charges already in there. Computer internet expenses is already in there. Um, I do not see business licenses and permits, so we're going to make sure we have those. Let's see. Wait. Service charges. Whoops. I already see that. Oh, business license and permits was the one I was saying we do not have. Let's make sure we add that. Let's say new. And this is under expenses. Okay. So now we have that. It's right there. I'm sorry, it's over that. So bank service charges, business license and permits, computer and internet expenses already in there, depreciation expenses already in there, insurance expenses already in there, interest expense is already in there, and meals and entertainment is already in there. Some of these other ones, well, if we use them, we use them. We're good. Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Office supplies, we've got payroll expenses, postage and delivery, professional fees, rent expenses already in there, repairs and maintenance, telephone expense, uniforms. I don't see uniforms. Travel we may not use. I'm just going to leave that for right now. But uniforms, we are going to add. Let's see. Account, new, expense. All right, now it's in there. Next one after uniforms should be utilities, and we've already got it, so we're good there. All right, so now we're on to customer and vendor profile lists. So on this, when we're talking about these lists, we got to go to list, and this is customer vendor profile list, and we've got specifically customer types. Right now, I do not see residential or commercial, so we need to add those. So we're going to say a new customer type. So we're just going to add these to make sure they are in there. And then the next one, with all of this, you always need to set this up to match your kind of business so it makes sense for yours. Now we're going to go to vendor types. Okay, so we're going to customer vendor. Let's see, is that right? Vendor type list. Okay, so we need service providers. I see that. Subcontractors are not in there. Let's add them. It'd help if I could type. Subcontractors is in there. Suppliers is in there. And tax agency. There we go. Okay. These other ones, we're going to leave it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Now we're going to look at payment methods. Again, this is under our lists. And this is kind of the backbone of the selection options we'll have that we can classify things as. So payment methods. Let's look at payment method list. There we go. We need cash, check, MasterCard. There's cash, there's check, there's MasterCard. So we're good there. We need Visa. We got Visa. We need debit card. We got debit card and PayPal. On that one, it says create an other type. So we're going to go to payment method. We're going to go to new payment method. This is going to be other. There we go. And we got to call it PayPal. Helps if I know how to spell pal. There we go. And now we're in there. We are good. Okay, so now we're going to look at the terms. Again, we're going to go to lists and let's see where our terms are. You need to be very, very careful setting these up so you get them spot on. So here's our terms. You go through the list and go through customer and vendor profile lists. So this one is 110 net 30. There's 110 net 30, so we're good there. 210 net 25. Let's change this one to match that. Might as well. These are what we're using. So 210 net 25. Okay. This is the net due. We got to put it 25 so it matches the net up there. Okay. Our discount percent matches up there, and the discount paid within 10 days. So what this is 2% off if paid within 10 days. Otherwise, you owe everything, the net of everything, in 25 days. So that's good. We just fixed the second one. These two are matching what we've got now. We should have due on receipt as another one, and we've got net 10 and net 30. So what I'm going to do is take this net 15. I'm going to change that to 10. Here we go. And I'm going to save that. So here's our net 10. Here's our net 30. We could make this inactive if we want, or delete it, whatever you want to do. I'm going to leave it. It doesn't really matter. It's just as long as we got those terms so we can add them to our deals. If we're not ever going to use it, we can just nuke it. It doesn't matter. So anyway, customers. Let's look at customers now. So on this, we are going to go to window, and we've got all these guys open. We're just going to go to the home deal, and let's add our customers. So right here, we've got our customers. This is not looking just right. There we go. So on customers, here's our new customer and job. We're going to go in here and we're going to add them. So we have a new customer. The new customer is, here's the customer name. Mariners Park, Phoebe Martinez. The company name. I'm going to do that. And then the Phoebe Martinez. There's Phoebe. Okay, and let's get this address in there. And we also need the city, state, and zip in there. Okay, so this is how it's going to look on an envelope. I'm going to copy that over. Okay, so it's the ship to and it's the invoice in. Let's get the phone number in there. Okay, and the terms. So for the terms, I believe we're going to go under payment settings, and our terms for her, we're setting this up ahead of time. So every time she gets rung up, we're doing net in 10 days. And she is a commercial type customer. Okay. So that's where we go to this additional information. We set her up as commercial, and that's it. We're good for her. Okay. I should have said save and new, but at any rate, let's set up our next one. So now we've got this Maddie Guessford. So one of these we're going to take out down here. We're going to put in her whole address. Okay, so that looks right. We're going to put in her phone number. We got to copy that address across in just a second. Okay, copying it over. Now we got our invoice bill and ship to the same. She's also a net 10, so we're going to our payment settings, our terms, We're going net 10, and she is a residential customer. Okay. You could also say who the sales rep is that she came from if you wanted to start tracking that stuff. We're not doing that, obviously, but at any rate, that's everything for Maddie. So we're going to say okay. So now we got her in there as well. The next one we're going to put is Nathaniel Jones. Okay, and his phone number. And let's get his address in here. There we go, copying it over to the ship to as well. For him, we're doing due upon receipt. Obviously, we trust him less, so we're going with that. Here's his payments. Payment terms. It's like due right now. And the additional information, he is a residential customer. Okay. And now that we got everything in there for him, we are saying okay. So there's Nathaniel. Um, Here is the next one. Jurassic Ventures, Daniel Bennett. Okay. And we're going to put in the phone for Jurassic here. Okay. And we also need to put in the address for them. Copy that across. All right. And they are net 10 and commercial. So let's go to payment settings. Let's go to net 10 and let's make sure we set them up as commercial under the additional information tab. I'm going to say okay. Now we got Jurassic Ventures all set up. The next one is exploration travel. He is net 10. And exploration travel is commercial. There we go. All right, so now we have exploration in there. New customer named Victoria. And we got to get Victoria's number in here, get that updated. Okay, she's due on receipt and residential. Okay, we look good on Victoria. Pushing that in. There she is. And we got Irie Spaith. There we go. There we go. Got a little overzealous with the copying and pasting there. Okay. Copying that to the ship too as well. IRE is due on receipt and residential as well. Okay, so IRE is in there. Now we got Twin Peaks, Lily Eberly. So let's add the last one. Let's put in the address for them. Copy that over. For payment settings, they are net 30. You got the best deal out of everything so far. And that is commercial. Okay, so now we've got all of our commercial and residential customers set up. Now we got to look at vendors. So we're going to close the window for customers. We are going to set up our vendors. So we can go in here and we can say a new vendor. Okay, the other thing we could do, actually, let's look in here, add multiple vendors. So with this, you can put them all in. We can go ahead and if I had this in a file that I could upload, that's what I would do. But for vendor name, company name, first name, last name, I can kind of go through here. We'll kind of try this on a couple. There we go. Vendor name, company name, first name, last name, phone number. But honestly, I have not used this function on here. I don't have an email, so we're going to skip that. We do have the address. On this, I think it breaks it out. So I think in this way, it may actually be slower. Holy cow, that's a whole lot of address. So let's go back up there. Actually, for that address, let's put in the whole thing and see how that goes. There we go. Okay. So payment terms, it does not let us put them in here, obviously. So I'm just going to say save the changes. So if you put in all of your vendors like that, um, just saving it, I'm closing it. Here they are. Here's the problem with doing it like that. So down here, it did not fill this whole thing out. So I'm going to go ahead and fix this. Okay, so Bart Girls is going to recommend you do not use that feature. It may be good to bring in lists, but it is definitely not good for what we're doing. So we got their phone number, their account number, and payment terms. So let's look at this. Since this is a vendor, it's going to be very similar. Here is their account number, and their terms is due upon receipt. So that's still under payment settings, and then the account settings, we can go in here and they are suppliers. Whoops, that's expense accounts. My bad. Additional, good googly moogly. Suppliers, there we go. It should be under additional, not account settings. So there we go. Let's see. So we've got the suppliers. We're going to say okay. So now they are all done in there. We're going to go on to the next one. Okay, and this is Green Touch Nursery. Company name. Pasting that in there. I'm going to cut that out. I'm going to paste it in there. Here's their phone number. And rest of their address. I'm going to nuke that so it doesn't look funny. Okay, there's the rest of their address. We're copying that over and it's good. Now we're going to go to payment settings and look at their specific account number and then their payment terms. This is net 10 for these guys. Okay, and then under additional information, we're going to set them up as a supplier. So they'll be in that supplier category. So now we have two different vendors in there. Now we're going to Rancho Properties. Okay, got their ship to stuff. Here's their payment settings. We need to know what their company account number is. Their payment terms are due on receipt. Under additional information, these guys are service providers. There we go. So Rancho is in there. Let's go to the next vendor. Hunter Cellular. Copying that over. Setting up their payment settings with their account number. And then their specific payment terms are net 10. And Hunter Cellular is a service provider. There we go. So we've got Hunter Cellular. Now we've got the California Tax Authority. All right. Do not have anybody specific to contact. Let's put up the main phone. In the address. Copying it over. Okay, under payment settings for these guys, that's their account number, and for their terms, they're net 30. Then under initial information for them, we can set them up as a tax agency and say okay. So the last one, Okay, let's pop through these really quickly. Just make sure everybody looks good. All right. So all of those are in. Now we've got service items to take care of. So we're done with the vendors, we're done with the customers. Now for service items, we can go under items and services here, or you can go under company and find that. We're just going to go through the dashboard over here. And as you can see, there are none. So we're going to add them, new item. Okay, on these first ones, they are service items that are non-taxable. Okay, so we're going to leave it as service. And let's see. First one is design. Landscape design services. And this is design services account. And the rate is $45 per unit. Should basically be hours. Okay. And we shouldn't have to mess with that. Okay, so we're going to say next. So in the next service, we've got installation. Description is landscape installation. Rate is 65 hourly. And this is installation. Okay, so we've got that. We're going to say next. And now we're going to go to yard care. This is $50. And this is maintenance services. Okay, the next service that we've got is maintenance. This one is 65, and it's also maintenance services. Okay, so now you can see our design, our installation, yard care, and maintenance. We've got the rates hooked up like we should, and we've labeled them all service, which is good. Okay, so now we are going to go in and we're going to add another item, and this is a non-inventory part. And the first one is mole repellent, because why not? Throw in the description. Oh, goodness. There we go. Let's see. Is there a part number? Now, Green Touch Nursery is the is our vendor. And it's materials cost. Okay. So let's check this. Now, the vendor piece, don't worry about that just yet. What we're going to do is hit OK. For the vendor to be inactive or activated, make sure you click, oh buggers, make sure you click this and toggle over there to the preferred vendor. Specifically, we are Green Touch Nursery. There we go. And that looks good. Description. Just make sure you got the description on both. Okay. And let's see. Materials cost. Okay. And expense account. Okay. So the income account that I would attribute this with, not design or installation, I would say this is maintenance for mold repellent. So we're going with that. Let's say okay. And I did this under the cost of goods sold expense account, materials cost. We don't necessarily have a sales price, but we're going to say it's just a pass through, I guess, for the same amount. Okay, so there it is. Moly, 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 moly. Now we're going to go to the next one. New item, non-inventory part. And this is lawn fertilizer. Actually, that did not copy. So this is what the lawn fertilizer should look like. It's another non-inventory part. Lawn fertilizer, we're putting in the description of the same cost. Materials cost is your expense account. Our vendor's Green Touch. And these are materials costs. So like it said, and under income account, if you're looking at our income accounts, there's only 3. So we're going with maintenance because it's fertilizer. So anyway, we're saying okay. Next one, we're going to go to item new non-inventory part, element line. On our description, there it is. You'll notice it popped over into the sales information as well. It's $34. And this is just tools and small equipment. And then our preferred vendor for that is McCall. We're going to leave sales price and income account out of this. I really don't think we're selling any of this stuff. So I think these are not inventory items. So really nothing that we're going to sell. So anyway, okay, we're going to say okay. Well, if we got to say an income account, we'll say maintenance, I guess, but we're not really selling it or anything. If we did, I'd say it would be that. So at any rate, that's what we're going with. You will use the preferred vendor information when creating the purchase orders. It does not to be needed in the new window. Good. Okay. Um, okay. So we've got all these reports you're going to run. That is how you set up everything. I'm going to get out of here and go to the regular home window. So now the next video on this is just Chapter 6 reports.